All right. Hello and welcome to another Katasa Healing Talk, the first of 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. And today we're going to talk about the call of your song. That is the first course that every new student of Katasa goes through. It teaches the foundational teachings of Katasa. And there's a lot of older students who repeat that course many times because you just never can get enough from what it offers. And since the enrollment to the School of Katasa is open, and the next call of your song is coming up, I believe, in February. I don't have the exact date, but since that is all coming up, we decided to talk about the course and the teachings and the ceremonies and the practices that it offers and teaches. So before we get into it, I forgot where I was going to go. Okay, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. That helps us out a lot. And my name is Helmut. I am here with our friends Laura and Laura. Hi, guys. Nice to see you again. And of course, Kay Cadell Whitaker, the author of The Reluctant Shaman, Sacred Link, and The Weavings. And let's jump into it. Who's going to get us started? Kay, you want to take it away?
Sure. The call of your song. This is the first class. I guess in modern language you'd call it the first level class of the whole Katasi series. And this is where we're engaging all of the primary, in some respects, the most important ceremonies that all the other teachings are based on. And this is kind of where the name of the class comes from, the call of your song. So the first ceremony is about your song and what that is. The Hedekas have a very poetic language, a poetic way of speaking. Lots of really beautiful metaphors, analogies, and things in the way they talk. And so, in order to describe who we really are, what we really are, and what that all means, what it entails, they describe our whole being as our entity. Some would say our spirit or our soul, our emotions, our thoughts, everything about us, our physical body, even as one whole unit. And that does include the physical body that you have at this moment, because it's very important. That's what puts you and keeps you here in this physical realm and having a physical lifetime. So this totality of who and what we are, they refer to as song. It's a song. And that's because the word song in normal references is talking about music and melodies and harmonies and singing and possibly dancing, and it talks about beauty and love and connectedness, sharing all that beauty, the connectedness, um, the senses, the senses of our physical body, the senses of our spirit. They're all incorporated in our song. And this is how we are. This is how we are being and how we are existing and feeling and making our interactions. This is how we are connected to everything. Our song is incredibly ancient, unthinkably ancient. We have no way to count that far back. So you could think of it as kind of eternal. It is our consciousness. It's our our awareness, our perception. It's our decision making. It's how we really think. It's how we experience things. It's how we go about our existence through the ages. And as an entity, we live, like I say, for an endless amount of time, and we have been alive for an endless amount of time. We've been experiencing all different kinds of lifetimes and being different things and different kind of species and different whole different human beings here on Earth over and over and over and over, but also out there in the universe on different planets and um, on different galaxies and different nebulas. And we've had an incredibly rich history that we carry with us because our song remembers everything. Everything we have ever experienced is part of us. And all this love of life, love of the universe, and love of the connectedness of everything that, that we have ever been around and interacted with and will interact with. There's so much passion there. And the words, the call of your song, if you're living a modern life on Mother Earth here in this time, um, we live a pretty narrowed down version of our ability to experience. It's my teachers used to say it's like we're asleep or we're half dead. We're living in a mental fog, and our senses are dimmed down, and our spiritual senses are like turned off. Um, Not permanently, but we do everything we can to ignore them when we're here in this lifetime. So the call of your song is this call of your beingness, of your destiny, of your purpose in life. Every time we get born someplace, we have a purpose for being there, a whole list of things that we want to do and experience and get done while we're there in that life, including this life. And if we're not paying attention to that, if we're doing everything we can to ignore it and cover it up, um, it doesn't feel good. It's stifling, and it feels like there's something missing and something lost. Um, it can lead to a lot of boredom and depression and all kinds of other serious conditions. And the call, that's your beingness, that's your what some would call your high self, uh, talking to you, calling you, telling you that the rest of you exists, that you are this spectacular entity, and these are the ceremonies, these are the things we need to hear, these are the things we need to start doing and like questioning everything. And in order to wake up out of this asleepness, this stupor that we've been in for on this planet hundreds, thousands of years. So it's not your fault. It's not your parents' fault or their parents. It's just been passed down for thousands of years on this planet in our race. And in many ways, that's part of what we came here on to this planet in this lifetime, this era, is because we're going through this asleepness and this waking upness. And there's a lure of the call of your song. It's calling you, it's luring you, it's your destiny is seductive, and it's pulling you in the direction of waking up and learning more about what the world really is and what it's about and how it feels and how much love and information and connectedness is right there at your fingertips. You are part of it. You just aren't realizing it at the moment. So I'll start there and let you, the three of you, say your beautiful words.
Before we continue, if you're interested in finding out more about the call of your song, there's a link in the description below where you can learn all the good detailed stuff about the course. Okay, who is gonna go next? Thank you, Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Laura P., I was letting you go.
Laura P.
I love you, Laura Ketty. Well, let's see. Where should I start? Let me start with I first read Kay's books in 2006, and that's like what 18 years ago. And then I started Kay's classes like 5 years ago, and I got a lot from the books, and I feel like they helped change my life, and they were perfect stepping stones. But it wasn't until I stepped into the studies and like the earth, fire, serpent and the song ceremony. I mean, let me put it this way. Kay has put together this course, and it brings you right to the door where you can choose to open it to the nonlinear, to the bigger part of who you are, to your song. And it changes everything. Like I read the books, I tried implementing the things that were in the book, but there's just nothing like what Kay has created to bring you right to the experiences, to know that peace, that excitement of your life, the loving and the attention and the magic. I mean, she brings you right there. And when I first started with the song ceremony stuff, I would do the song ceremony, and I kind of started like kind of trickling with it, but then I realized that the song ceremony shifted something inside me, and I was actually touching that that uniqueness, that aliveness, that passion that was me, and it totally changed my whole day. And then I just got to do it every single day, and I almost do it every single day to this day because of what it does for me. It raises my vibration. It opens me up to, once you know your song, you can feel the song of other that's all around you, that connections. And it's really magical because it's always been there, and I didn't know it until I started to get to know my song. No, do you want me to go on to the other parts of the call of your song, or do you want me to?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the song ceremony is the first thing that we learn, and that's where we start to just kind of get the flavor that there's something more to us besides this physical form. And there's a part of me that it equates to making versus creating. And when you're living your life making, and that's I think a lot of what mask stuff is. Like your life's supposed to turn out a certain way. It's supposed to look a certain way for in order for you to be happy, in order for you to feel like you're successful. And those are those masks. Those are those little babbly things that just talk to us nonstop, and they dictate, at least for me, they have dictated my experience. And it wasn't until I started to learn about song first and then masks, and it just gives you a power to start weeding out those limiting voices, those babbly things that continue to talk, and it makes it so that you can start to question them. Start and compassionately, because we created them for a reason. And but yet they're limiting us, and you don't know that until you start to just become aware that you have all this non-stop babble going on. It shocked me. Like, I really kind of thought that I was doing pretty good before I started like all of your song. But like Kay calls it like cleaning out of the bear cave. And you have all these blind and beliefs, which are beliefs that you attach to. They're things that you like believed without even questioning at all. And I had a lot of them. I truly did. And so it goes from learning your song and then starting to look what masks are, which I have a dog that's pretty excited down there. I don't know if you guys can hear her or not, but she's old, so she gets a bye. Um, so we learn about our song, we learn about our masks and our beliefs, the things that are dictating those experiences. And I totally dove head in. I just went jumped right in. And I want to say that anybody that's going to be starting this course, I was scared. I was scared shitless. And I don't know if it was just my masks that were just totally flaring off, but yeah, I was scared because I just decided I was just going to stare down whatever I needed to and get rid of whatever I needed to, because I was not happy in my life. I was small. I was fear-based. There was just a lot of fear that was governing my life and my experiences. So I want to get back to the making versus creating. So I learned once I started to feel my song that I didn't have to make things look a certain way. I could go in, find my song, and live from my song, and therefore I was creating from love and unconditional love and worthiness once I plucked out those masks that were limiting me. And then I really want to share my experience with my earth fire serpent, but I think I would take up too much time. My first one was just so amazing. I'll leave it like that.
Oh, give us a couple of words.
Do you want me? Okay.
A few
Well,
sentences.
Well,
Yeah.
I did what you guys didn't necessarily say to do. I went outside and I followed the book. I did how the Hedicas did for you. I had made a fire where I was going to do the earth fire serpent. I did my stones. I had gone out to search for my stones, and there's all those masks when you sit there and you stand there and you're like, okay, I want to do the ceremony. I'm in my song. And then you open yourself up to finding these stones, and they just all start talking to you, and I could feel them, and I literally started to tear up. I started to tear up because it was like I was aware of something that I wasn't aware of before. Um, but I was so willing to go out there and try. Anyway, so I got all my stones together, and I was very focused on what my intent was, and so I'm out there, and I did it during the summer solstice. It was the longest night of the year. I was out there by myself, and when the energy started coming up, I totally felt it felt like ants. Like my eyes were closed, and like I had to look down to see if there was ants crawling up me. There, it wasn't. It was the energy that was coming up through my body, and it was just so amazing as it went through, and I could feel it releasing stuff. And I didn't get done until probably like 11 o'clock at night, and everybody at the house had actually gone to bed, and I got there and there was so much energy running through me. I literally was shaking. It was everything was shaking. It was like, "This is awesome," but it was I mean, I was so cold. And it did pass, but it was just I could feel the difference between before and after and what it did to me, and it felt like it just totally opened up my heart chakra. I could breathe.
And
I
hey,
don't
Laura, you're a Reiki master too. So you've already,
Yes.
that's even, so, cause yeah.
Yeah, I was a Reiki master for years before even doing that. So the difference in after the Earth Fire Serpent ceremony and how much it opened up all my energy ways, it was huge. It was I was in awe. I was like, okay, this is another reason why I'm here. But that's another reason why I'm here. I definitely was interested in the healing, but I wanted what I had listened to Kay talk about that freedom and that peace. I'd had, several life events in my life that I was carrying around guilt and shame with. And one of the ceremonies in the Call Your Song is a forgiveness one. And I had been trying for years to let go of some of these things. And it wasn't until I did that that I actually felt some relief. And, all through these studies, the Call of Your Song, you start to develop a real feeling for gratitude for the teachings, because you'll start to feel if you really commit and you really, she'll lead you right to the door of experience. And it's up to you to open that door. But each of the ceremonies will lead you right there, and it will change your life if you choose to open the door. No matter what fear is going to get babbling at you, open that door, and it will totally change your life. There's so much love available for us. It's all here. It is. You got to trust her when she says we're made out of unconditional love. I have felt it. I know it. And you each deserve it and deserve to feel it as well. Do you want me to talk about the attention that you start to learn? I'll let Laura Kenny talk about what she wants to talk about. But
Oh, I'm not. I was like, I think you're going beautifully. Um, I remember coming to these studies. I had a huge case of ICTA, and ICTA is our acronym for I know that already. And it's like I'd studied modern shamanism, some mediumships. I dabbled, and I call it dabble. People, it's just like for those who you wouldn't, I did everything within those realms you could possibly do. No one would consider that dabbling until you come in Katasi. Until you start studying Katasi, you realize that was dabbling. But I came in with ICTA. Um, and I think, the biggest thing I could have done is let it go and start new. And I did. There was, when I, first heard some of the courses, it was like, oh yeah, I know this. I've done this somewhere before. Yeah, you haven't. You absolutely haven't. I was making the mistake of swapping song with soul, just the word in my mind. And it's so limiting when I had done that, and I remember when I finally let go of my other beliefs from other practices and, and opened up to the experience of these teaching and Kay has set before us. It was like, I ran out of Kleenex, so I've got to get through this without tearing up. I was like, it fell in my throat. That song that has been with me my entire life. That's why I know the title of this, The Call of Your Song. That's what had been driving me a little crazy, a little batty all through my 30s. I could have said further going back in 20s, but definitely in my 30s. I was trying to find myself, this magic of me, and these foundational classes, that's what it's about. If you let go of what you've known before and just start over as, a new student, and under, because there are a lot of other people do mask work. It's not the same. You may have the same name, but it's the depth and understanding of what is masks is not taught this way other places. And I came in going, I know my 6 masks. 36 masks later. I was like, and I keep repeating it, and I'm like, wow, there's a new one there, as you're losing one, and and these practices actually teach you how to let them go, to actually, and that's the key. I mean, and it further in the class, after Laura talked about the energy opening, that alone, collecting stones for the first time, like hearing them, or feeling them. Hearing is probably inappropriate for my first experience, but feeling it. And, I'm out there with my pendulum, out there worried anybody's going to see me. I'd never made an altar before in my life. And that alone isn't the first experience of connecting to the other world is in these classes. You get that chance to connect and know that stone's alive, and, and ask that stone to come help you, and make an altar, and feel the difference from inside the altar to outside the altar. And it's just like, I use the term, this shit's real, and it's not derogatory, but it's that mind blowing, like, because you did it. You're the one that made the altar. You're the one that created this magic that you're about to step into. That firsthand experience is what these teachings have. And you're not listening to some guru tell you what is a truth. Katasi, these teachings that Kay's laid out in a very specific altar, just keep opening you up. Keep opening you up and keep opening you up so that you're getting into this beautiful thing that you are inside, that calling, that power. And the earth fire serpent definitely does it. But the classes continue on to attention. My struggle, it's like I had no idea how much chatter was in here, and I thought there was chatter in here. Oh my goodness. That's letting go of those masks, start quieting that chatter, and you realize when you actually, for those few seconds, even in the beginning, some people are better, I talk in seconds, I collected my attention. That's when I could see the unconditional love. That's when I could see my power. That's when I could hear the rocks talk and the trees talk, and the world around me came alive, and then the next class is about unconditional love. You open up to, you've got those tools in hand to actually experience the unconditional love, and to really feel it, and to know that's what we're made out of. That's what the trees made out of, the rocks are made out of. But it's just like you've kind of got to go through those steps, and when you can't come out of these steps, without, being changed. If you really do them. I'll let somebody else talk about the forgiveness ceremony, but it's, I would say, listen to that call. I think we're in an era that more people that are having the alarm clocks go off. I think more people, it's happening younger. The age groups are, who are being called are starting sooner. That there's something more to me. If you're feeling that call, don't run from it like I did for a decade before you answer it. It was, we all have our path. But I listened to Laura, who heard it and jumped in, and I ran from it for a period of time and then circled back. But we all got here. But I'll stop there. I'll let somebody else talk about, more of it. Because the last piece is the forgiveness ceremony. And that's just the beginning.
Did we talk about unconditional love yet?
I did a little. Should we talk more?
No, that's okay. Who wants to talk about the forgiveness ceremony?
Well, I can talk about it, but first I want to say something about why. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why do I continue to come back every year? Why? First of all, you get to know who and what you really are, which is love, unconditional love, and that permeates everything. And you're just gonna have to trust me on that one if you're not feeling it right now. And you get to have that freedom to choose, because we haven't talked about the no-nos yet, but you'll get that in the teachings, and it makes you aware so you can make choices. And being able to make choices instead of just being reactive to stuff, that's freedom. And so that's another reason why.
Yes.
Another reason would be community. Oh, you get to learn these things and learn about how amazing you are and how wonderful and how you're awesome. You get to do that with us in a safe space, because in Katasi, we don't judge. That's part of the no-nos. No blind beliefs, no judgments, no expectations, no assumptions. And there's some more, but you get that with your teaching. And those once you understand them, once you have enough attention to notice when those are coming in, you get to choose, and it changes your life. So that's another reason why. And I happen to just totally love our community, and I love the teachings. Now, I could go off right now, and I have the teachings. I have the bulk of them, right? But there's something about community. There's something about family and support. Like, we support and love each other unconditionally, and that is part of the teaching, is that it's all unconditional love. And if it's not, then it's most likely what? A mask. You got some blind beliefs there. You got something controlling you. Why? It's a place where you can grow and expand and help all of humanity and the planet in the process. So, my goal is to awaken, and I have been seeking for years and years and years. I remember in 2000, well, how old was I? I was 23 when I was biking the San Juan Islands. And silly me, I mean, they're islands, they're hard. And I was pedaling along, and I heard, "You're a seeker." And I had been seeking, and then in 2006, I mean, after all those years of seeking, reading all kinds of books, watching all kinds of videos, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. It wasn't until I found Kay's books and those ancient teachings that I knew I had found. I had found what was going to change my life. Now, there was a whole lot of other things going on in my life, but I kept trying to come back to it, and I kept studying, but it wasn't until I actually committed in 2019 that my life really took off, when I really felt the peace and the freedom and the sacredness of me and the sacredness of these teachings. So I want to go into forgiveness.
But I do talk more about the sacred.
Oh,
Mhm.
I would like to.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like, but I would like it talked about.
Well, why don't you jump in, and then if you want, I can jump into the forgiveness and my experience with it.
No, I wasn't ready to talk about
Okay,
it.
I can.
But but I think that's what's missing out of so many other practices. Um, I in the book The Reluctant Shaman, and we talk about this often, is through these teachings we experience creation, gloves off, eyes wide open. We experience it. We don't have to be told about it. There's an aspect of that feeling once you touch that everything's alive and everything has unconditional love. It brings you into this space of understanding the sacredness of life, the sacredness of you, the sacredness of your breath, and you don't. I mean, I remember watching, not to pick on Catholics, but the Catholic practice. I had a diverse religious upbringing, very diverse. I studied a lot of things, but the sacred altar and the sacred space and the sacred objects was my only understanding of sacred. And fast forward many years later, I studied the modern shamanism and other practices, but we didn't talk about sacred. This is nothing, we never went into the realm of sacred, let alone the feeling. I mean, that's maybe something we haven't quite addressed yet, is that in Katasi is the feeling. The studies of opening up your senses is learning how to communicate and sense in a feeling way. And it's instead of a thinking way, or even in that experience things from feeling. Whoops, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I don't know how I got that one. Just the opposite. Maybe we need the thumbs up. The feeling of things. We do that as a child. We fill into a room, into a space, and then we stop. We start thinking about stuff and thinking what's sacred. But you're finally you're having these ceremonies and you're starting to touch sacred and experience sacred, but feel sacred, feel unconditional love. It's like you suddenly, these beginning teachings start informing you on how precious, that maybe that's the word I'm looking for, how precious, at least maybe that was for me, this life is.
And beautiful, maybe?
That's the word I was just about to say. Thanks, Kay. It was like it's stumbling in there, the beauty that is out there in this world. We're right now spending a whole lot of time talking about how ugly this place has gotten, how ugly the human race has gotten, that we're embarrassed to be human, but we don't really know what human is. We've forgotten. And this call of your song, if you don't know your song, you really don't know what being human is. But you don't. And I know I'm with Laura. I love our community. Our community, it just chokes me up again. You can't come for the community. The community is, you come for yourself to know who you are as a human, a true human, and your beauty. You come in to touch beauty, to find that lost energy that's been crimped in. These are the reasons you come in. You come in to experience the more that's of you and in there. But the community, being surrounded by people who are doing the same thing and, encouraging each other, people who don't want to be masky, and don't want to live in a mask world, who want to live in beauty, these are your peers. I mean, it's just like there's nothing better out there than spending time in this community. When you're in song, in feeling the beauty and unconditional love, surrounded by these other glowing people, all working together. It's, I love you guys. I love this
Love you
community.
too.
Yeah. Sacred. Our community
Yes,
sacred.
it is. And you forgot to use the word sensual. We
Sensual.
were talking about that at book club, which is a fun thing to do too. Sensual.
Yes.
Feeling.
Yes.
We were going to find different ways to use that word sensual.
We're taking it back. We're taking the word
That's
sensual
right.
back.
To mean feeling into all that's there. It's very sensual once you learn how to do it. Stop your babble long enough to feel. There's a lot available.
It's sacred.
It's very sacred. So I guess it's my turn to talk about the last ceremony in the Call Your Song, which happens to be the forgiveness ceremony. Now, I have no idea why. It seems like, I did the ceremony. No. Wait, let me finish my sentence. Why
No.
during that course, everybody would get to the forgiveness ceremony, we kind of petered out. It was like we were,
Froze.
yeah,
Is a better
we
word.
kind of froze. But it's one of the best ceremonies out of all of them, I'm telling you, because you get in there and you realize how many things are draining from you, or I don't know how to put this. When you touch something, there's a connection to it. And there's a connection with and relationships and communication always going on all around us. And some of those relationships have been strained, or there's some beliefs in between them, or there's some dysfunction. And those kind of drain from you. They just suck off you like a siphon. You don't realize you have energy going over there and over there and over there. And the ceremony gets you in a sacred circle, and you go about looking for those and filling them full of unconditional love and clearing them. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful how you can help clear those things that are just sucking your energy and you don't know it. And some of them just need to be filled with love, because when you made those connections, you had beliefs, you had judgments, you had expectations, you had all those no-nos in there. And you can clear that out. You can clear it. You can let it go. You understand? You served me at this particular time, and now let's just fill it full of love. And that's what heals, is love. And that's what that ceremony is. So I have no idea why and when we get to that ceremony, some people kind of drag their feet, but it's one of the most powerful things I've ever experienced. Because, I had years when my son was diagnosed with autism, and I had years where I blamed myself for it. And I had some guidance before, in the intuition or whatever you might call it, and I still went through with what caused it or was contributing to it. And I had so much guilt about it. And I realized I was doing the best I could based upon what I knew. And I had tried all kinds of things to try and heal that, but it wasn't until the forgiveness ceremony that actually lifted it from me. And, I still visited every once in a while because I'm living it, right? So I visited every once in a while. I look for that cord to make sure it's not all clogged up, because I want love to be flowing to me. I want to, When if I don't have all these cords sucking from me, then I can better feel that unconditional love that's all around us. And so that's another reason why this earth fire serpent, no, not the earth fire serpent, the forgiveness ceremony is so important. Is you just help clear that from you so that you can like have a clean slate before the injury, before these things clogged up your pipes for the energy to flow. So, and I have to say, the Earth Fire Serpent did that to me as well. It helped clear stuff. I can't even tell you consciously what it cleared. I think that's why I was shaking so much. I don't know what all it let go of. But as Kay's bringing you through that ceremony, it's that energy is flowing through your body and it's clearing and it's clearing and it's just you're just letting stuff go. And if you go into it with that in mind and you follow it with your whole heart, it will clear those blocks. It's part of the forgiveness. It's part of the healing. So beautiful course. I recommend it for everyone. It does change your life if you turn the handle, if you jump in, if you choose to do it, because she's going to lay it all out there in front of you. She's going to give you all the tools. They're all going to be right there, right in front of you. A gift, an ancient gift. Open it up, do it, walk it, breathe it, feel it. It's just going to lead to unconditional love.
Dang. Beautiful. Okay. That QR code that just popped up, that gets you to the Call of Your Song page. And in case that doesn't work for you, here's also the website address. What else?
I think I would like to take a mention of attention. All these things that we've been talking about, and the practices, the ceremonies that they've been talking about. they're aiming to free your attention, to free your attention from the blind beliefs and all the masks and all that babble and all the enculturalization, the propaganda, all that stuff that's been fed into you your whole life. That's the only thing that you've known. So you thought that's the way the world was and that's the way you were. But it's not. That's why we say question everything. All these things that we're doing, we're starting to use and aim our attention in a new direction. To delve it deep into the makings of what all these beliefs are and the propaganda and the stuff that we have learned from the culture. And we're learning how to use our attention better, to not be conned by our blind beliefs and the masks and all the babble and anybody else around us who's repeating all that stuff. We don't have to be conned by that. We can directly perceive the real truth. We can perceive what our attention is, what our consciousness is. And that's all part of our song. That's the who and what we are. And when our attention gets cleaned out, we got control of our attention again. We can aim our attention at something, focus it, and be there. Concentrate, focus, stay in that feeling, that thought, that observation, or whatever it is we're doing, conversation with the universe. We're learning in multiple ways. These conversations that we have with our opened attention, they're telling us about the truth of the world and the truth of who and what we are and who and what we have been. And we still carry with us, and we learn from it. Every life we've ever had, we have gifts that we achieved and were given, and they're still with us. We still have those gifts. We just have to wake them up. And that's about waking up our attention. That's what these classes do. That's what finding your song, learning the feeling of your song, learning to love yourself, love your song. We're made out of unconditional love. The universe is made out of unconditional love. We're all consciousness, we're all attention. And the more we step into that and see it as it truly is, what it truly is, what we can do with it, we realize that that is our power, our attention, with all this love and this beauty and this connectedness and this flow, and the learning and giving, receiving back and forth with our consciousness focused. That is our power. And the kind of things that we are capable of doing, that is part of who and what we are, it's inherent in our beingness and in our species. These are things that will just blow you away. Just blow you away. It's the things of fairy tales and more. So much more. The depths. The longer you do this, the more you do it, the more you learn about it, and the bigger it gets. The more profound it is, the more beautiful it is, the more powerful it is. Powerful for you, for healing yourself, waking yourself up, but for everyone around you, your whole family, even your pets, which we don't think of being able to receive these kind of things and change. Oh, they will. They will really surprise you, and how well they can carry on real conversations with you. They don't have the vocal cords to carry on these conversations like we are right now, like you can hear me and all that. But with all of our senses and our spirit senses, this is how we connect with, this is how we learn what everything is about and what we're about and how we give and receive all of these things with each other. And we can carry that with us from into every aspect of our lives, into whatever kind of work we do as we change. And I've heard this recently with some people who've been doing this a bit, that as we are changing, we're waking up, that there's a newness that keeps unfolding. There's an awareness that keeps unfolding and extending. And sometimes we look backwards into our lives, into who and what we thought we were, what kind of things we believed, what we used to do, how we used to live, what we felt on a daily basis. And it's night and day different. Night and day. Just these teachings are really, really, really ancient. And they were given over and over and over again to populations all over the planet. And some people have been able to hang on to them and pass them down without distorting them. And that's what this is. That's what this is all about.
Dang.
So,
That was my word.
what do you have to say about this, Helmut?
I'm speechless. One of the things that becomes very prominent with listening to you all on your sharing and your beautiful words is the freedom this has brought to my life. I mean, freedom in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah.
Freedom from my old demons, freedoms from the cultural programming, the constant babble, freedom from guilt that
Hmm.
has been put on us and put on me and most, if not all of us, to stifle us, to make us subservient. Freedom from the cultural shoulds, freedom from the muggle rules. It's like it goes on and on and on. And freedom to experience life, your life, on a level that is like it goes from black and white to technicolor. And you feel things on a level that you just never thought possible. And then freedom to know yourself and live it. That's like, I don't know if there's a greater gift in the world. Like so many people in our culture, I came from a life of quiet desperation. And it made me so desperate to find something else that I ended up here. And today, one of the practices that I have fallen in love with is a gratitude ceremony.
Mm.
And the things that are included in my gratitude ceremony are forgiveness, gratitude, love, peace, beauty, coherence, connectedness, creativity, self-sovereignty, freedom, health, happiness, prosperity, abundance. I mean, these were things that I had some experience of those in my previous life, but it was like compared to today, it's like I don't have words that I even am able to be grateful for all these things on an experience them on levels I just never thought possible. Truly. So there, freedom. Thank you all so much. That was just beautiful.
Incredible. Beautiful, beautiful words. about beautiful, beautiful things. That's what that class is. That's what Call Your Song is. That's what these teachings are. Beautiful, beautiful things.
Okay, here's the link again and the QR code. If you want to check it out and join us on that page, you also have contact information where you can get in touch with us and talk more if you have more questions. I think we're good for today. Any other thoughts?
I think we're incredible.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Loris. Thanks, everybody, for joining us live. Thanks for watching this later. Again, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel yet. And we see you next time. Love you.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you.